what do you think about all this nutty stuff coming out of the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives now? They even want to ban guns again.
Well, we come back to that one a lot. I feel like that one's always going to be on the recycle loop. What do I think? I mean, this is, I think, where we were headed. I mean, where they were headed. I'm not totally surprised. I do think it's interesting sort of watching the old guard and the new guard fight it out a little bit, because the Nancy Pelosi's, I think, and probably, the Chuck Schumers and some of the old timers there, I think they're a bit horrified by the damage control that they're going to have to be doing on a regular basis by these extremist fringe leftists that have sort of infiltrated our government with these ideas. But something that concerns me too is the way that conservatives are responding to this. Because yes, we can look at this rationally and we can recognize that these ideas are dangerous and bordering on sometimes hilarious, especially if you look at a lot of the details inside the Green New Deal. But you have to bear in mind, I mean, we cannot underestimate this woman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I mean, she has an enormous following. People love her, and young people love her. Now, this is where I think it gets really dangerous, because young people are very ill-informed when it comes to politics. Number one, I don't think they care very much about politics. I didn't either when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I just didn't care. But they're also not being taught alternative points of view. I mean, in high schools and colleges and universities, they're getting liberally indoctrinated. And then on top of that, they're seeing this kind of fresh young face in the political movement, and she talks to them and she's fun. She goes on Instagram and she shares her beauty routine with young people. She encourages them to take breaks and take naps and take vacations and make themselves feel good. Conservatives aren't even communicating with young people. And not only are we not communicating with young people, we're just making fun of her, and they love her. So this is not the way. I think, spending our time bashing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez might make us feel good. It might make us laugh. But my main concern is getting young people to vote for conservative values, to vote red in 2020. And we've got to find a way to connect with young people. We've got to find a way to make our message fresh and hip and exciting and interesting and culturally relevant. And I think we've got to find a way to show people, that young people, that there's a choice to be had here, that it's not a choice, because right now all they're hearing is that it's Nazis, bigots, racists, and homophobes on the right, and this cool, fresh, young girl who wants to tell everyone to, get a facial and take a nap, and that she's going to invent a high-speed rail that's going to make airplanes irrelevant, and that, that she's going to retrofit every building in the United States in 10 years. We've got to come up with ways to counter her energy and the way that she's connecting and communicating with young people.
And you're absolutely right, Brandon. We have a choice. And before we run out of time here, we've got two announcements that I want to give you the opportunity to break it on to our viewers here on the Rob Maness Show and the wider audience. And I've heard there's going to be a congressional race again in a year and a half in that seat district that Miss AOC occupies, and that somebody that I'm talking to may be going to take it on.
Maybe. That's absolutely true. Maybe. I mean, what I did recently was sort of say that this is something that I'm considering, and I am strongly considering it. I do think that she is not the right person for this job. I think that her message and her intent within our government is not good for this country. I think it's dangerous. But I recognize that we need voices in government that are rational, clear thinking, and able to once again communicate effectively with minority groups, can communicate effectively with young people. And I think that I'm somebody who has already proven that I'm quite capable of doing that. And I think that I can do it better than she can. And I think that if anyone's going to beat her, it's probably going to be me. And so it's something that I'm strongly considering.
And I think you have exactly the right message of liberty, freedom, and love for the United States of America by Americans. And people, you can see and hear Brandon's message directly at CPAC 2019. It's just been announced that he will be speaking there. So young people, get to CPAC again. I know that most of CPAC's audience is in the younger crowd, and I think it'll be an exciting time. I look forward to seeing the speech, Brandon.